Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at cybersecurity disaster preparedness. And we're going to be using a pretty cool source.
Yeah.
It's actually a set of 25 multiple choice questions.
Multiple choice.
Yeah, straight from an ABCP assessment exam prep guide.
Oh, wow.
So this is like if you're studying for your ABCP,
Right.
this is the kind of stuff you got to know.
Yeah.
So think of this deep dive as like a crash course in business continuity and disaster recovery planning.
I like it.
What I thought was really interesting about this prep guide is it even mentions a Telegram group
Oh, wow.
for folks studying this stuff.
Yeah.
So it really highlights like the collaborative nature of cybersecurity learning.
Yeah, for sure. Cybersecurity is such a field where shared knowledge and experience is so valuable.
Absolutely. It's like we're all in this together trying to navigate these ever-evolving threats.
For sure.
So let's jump into these questions.
Okay.
The first one asks, which of the following is not identified by a business impact analysis, also known as a BIA? So you've got four options. A, the areas that would suffer the greatest financial loss in the event of a disaster. B, the critical departments and equipment that the organization depends on.
Okay.
C, the outage time that can be tolerated by the company.
Right.
And D, determining team members associated with disaster recovery planning.
Okay.
So what jumps out at you here when you hear this question?
I think this question really forces you to think about the purpose of a BIA.
Okay.
And so the correct answer here is D, determining team members associated with disaster recovery planning.
Okay, so why is that not identified?
So a BIA is all about understanding the potential consequences of a disruption.
Right.
But it focuses on the what, not the who.
I see. So like what's mission critical?
Exactly.
What's the potential financial fallout?
Yes.
How much downtime can we handle?
Uh-huh.
It's about scoping the problem before you even assign people to fix it.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So on to question 2.
Okay.
And this one's about hot sites. The question asks, which of the following is a feature of a hot site?
Okay.
Your choices are A, relocation of equipment during critical times. B, basic facilities such as interface connections and communications.
Yep.
C, fully equipped with external interfaces and communication.
Right.
And D, partially equipped for resumption of operations in a short period of time.
Okay.
What do you think?
So the key here is understanding that a hot site is designed for immediate recovery.
Okay.
So the answer is C, fully equipped with external interfaces and communications.
So it's like ready to go.
Yes. It's essentially a mirrored environment ready to take over seamlessly if your primary site goes down.
So if a disaster hits, you just flip the switch and everything keeps running?
Yeah.
No scrambling to set up servers or anything?
Exactly. That's the beauty of a hot site.
Wow.
Of course, that level of readiness comes at a price.
Sure.
But for businesses where even a few hours of downtime could be disastrous, that cost is often justified.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, question 3 gets us thinking about the planning process itself.
Okay.
It asks, what is the first step that needs to take place before developing a disaster recovery plan?
Right.
Is it A, choose an off-site facility or implement a reciprocal agreement with another company?
Uh-huh.
B, perform a risk analysis and identify assets?
Okay.
C, perform software and hardware backups and implement electronic vaulting?
Got it.
Or D, perform a business impact analysis?
All right.
What do you think?
This one highlights the need for a very systematic approach.
Okay.
You wouldn't build a house without a blueprint. Right.
Right.
So the correct answer is B, perform a risk analysis and identify assets.
Okay.
You need to understand what you're protecting and what threats you're facing before you can create a plan to address them.
So it's like taking inventory. What are our crown jewels, so to speak?
Precise.
And what could potentially take them down?
Yeah, you need that clear picture before you can start building your defenses.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, question 4 puts us right in the thick of things.
Right.
Emergency actions are taken at the first stage of a disaster with the goals of preventing injuries or loss of life and A, protecting evidence,
Okay.
B, preventing looting,
All right.
C, mitigating further damage,
Okay.
or D, determining the extent of property damage.
Got it.
So what do we think is the most important thing?
So in a crisis, priorities shift.
Right. Yeah.
And the immediate focus is on safety and damage control.
Okay.
So the answer is C, mitigating further damage.
Like contain the fire, stop the leak, get people to safety.
Exactly. It's about stopping the bleeding before you can start assessing the long-term consequences.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Question 5 is about testing your plan.
Right.
Which of the following best describes a parallel test?
Okay.
A, Normal operations are shut down with operations being resumed at an off-site facility. B, a sample of key applications are run at an alternate off-site facility and compared to the results at the primary site.
Oh, okay.
C, all departments receive a copy of the disaster recovery plan and walk through it. D, representatives from each department come together and go through the test collectively.
Got it.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, so parallel testing is like a dress rehearsal.
Oh, okay.
So the answer is B. A sample of key applications are run at an alternate off-site facility and compared to the results at the primary site.
Okay.
You're running things side by side to make sure your backup systems can handle the load.
So you're not pulling the plug on your main operations.
Right.
But you're making sure the backup singers can hit the high notes if needed.
That's a great analogy, yeah.
Perfect.
It's a lower risk way to test those critical components and identify any issues before a real disaster strikes.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We're halfway through our questions. Stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll delve into the essential elements of a disaster recovery plan testing frequency and those mysterious cold sites.
Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive.
All right, so we're picking up with question number 6.
Okay.
Which one of the following best describes what a disaster recovery plan should contain? Here are your options. A, hardware software people. Emergency procedures. Recovery procedures.
Okay.
B, people hardware off-site facility. C, software media interaction people hardware management issues.
Right.
And D, hardware emergency procedures. Software identifying risk.
Okay.
What do you think? What are like the essential ingredients for a good disaster recovery plan?
It's like you're assembling a comprehensive toolkit, right?
Yeah.
Ready to be deployed when disaster strikes.
Okay.
So the best answer here is A, hardware, software people, emergency procedures, recovery procedures.
So it's not just about the tech, it's about the humans.
Exactly.
Their processes, too.
Absolutely. And like clear communication plans are crucial. Everyone needs to know what's happening, what their role is.
Right. Okay, so we've got our toolkit.
Yeah.
But how often should we be checking it, making sure everything's in working order?
Right.
That's what question 7 asks.
Okay.
How often should a disaster recovery plan be tested? Is it A, at least once a year? B, every 2 years? C, only after a merger takes place? Or D, every 3 years?
Just like you wouldn't wait years to check the batteries in your smoke detector, you shouldn't let your disaster recovery plan gather dust.
Good point.
So the recommended frequency is A, at least once a year.
Annual checkups for our digital safety net.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Now let's switch gears and talk about cold sites.
All right.
Question 8 asks, which of the following describes a cold site?
Okay.
The options are A, fully equipped and operational in a few hours. B, partially equipped with data processing equipment.
Okay.
C, expensive and fully configured.
Right.
Or D, providing environmental measures and no equipment.
So remember how we talked about hot sites being ready to go immediately?
Right.
A cold site is the opposite.
Okay.
It's essentially a shell that can be built out into a functional data center,
Uh-huh.
but it doesn't have any pre-installed equipment.
Oh.
So the best description is D, providing environmental measures and no equipment.
So it's more like a blank canvas than a ready-made solution.
Exactly. You have the space, the basic infrastructure, but you need to bring everything else.
Okay, so that makes it much cheaper than a hot site.
Yes.
But it also means like a longer recovery time.
Exactly.
Okay, cold sites, the budget-friendly but slower option.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Moving on to question 9. Which of the following best describes a structured walkthrough test?
Okay.
A, it is performed to ensure that critical systems will run at the alternate site. B, all departments receive a copy of the disaster recovery plan and review its content.
Right.
C, representatives from each department come together and go through the test collectively.
Okay.
Or D, normal operations are shut down.
So a structured walkthrough is like a tabletop exercise where everyone walks through the plan step by step.
Okay.
So the answer is C. Representatives from each department come together and go through the test collectively.
So it's like a team huddle, making sure everyone's on the same page before the game starts.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, it's about communication, coordination, and preparation.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, teamwork. Key question 10 broadens the scope.
Okay.
What areas of a company require a business continuity plan? A, financial and information areas.
Right.
B, management, marketing, and critical areas.
Okay.
C, all areas of the enterprise. Or D, areas that directly support the company and integrate with outside entities.
So this question highlights that business continuity planning goes beyond just IT.
Right.
Disruptions can impact any department, so every part of the organization needs to be prepared.
Got it.
So the answer is C, all areas of the enterprise.
So from the C-suite to the mailroom, everyone needs a plan.
Absolutely. Every department has critical functions and resources that need to be considered.
Okay. Business continuity is an all-hands-on-deck situation.
Yes.
Now, where should we be setting up our backup operations?
Okay.
Question 11 asks, when selecting a recovery site for either disaster recovery planning or business continuity planning purposes, the facility should be located.
Yeah.
A, as close as possible to the primary site.
Okay.
B, in another state county.
C, close enough to become operational quickly, but not too close to get hit with the same disaster. Or D, in another enterprise-occupied facility, a comfortable distance from the primary site.
So it's about finding that Goldilocks zone. Right.
Yeah.
Not too close, not too far.
Okay.
So the best answer is C, close enough to become operational quickly, but not too close to get hit with the same disaster.
So if the primary site goes down, the backup needs to be accessible but not vulnerable to the same event.
Exactly.
That's a delicate balancing act.
It is, and it requires careful consideration of the potential risks and your recovery time objectives.
Okay, on to backups.
Okay.
Question 12 asks, methods for achieving appropriate offsite data backup include all of the following, except ET. A,
Right.
backing up software and data to tape files and moving them to a secure offsite location. B, electronic vaulting of data to an offsite location.
Right.
C, mirroring data and systems files in hardware that is remote to the primary system.
Or D, backing up software and data to files and storing them in a fireproof vault in the primary location.
This question emphasizes the importance of true offsite backups.
Okay.
Storing backups in a fireproof vault at your primary location isn't enough.
Right.
So the answer that doesn't provide true offsite protection is D, backing up software and data to files and storing them in a fireproof vault in the primary location.
So even a fireproof vault in your main office isn't considered a true offsite backup.
Correct. If the primary site is compromised, that vault could be inaccessible or destroyed.
Right.
True offsite backups need to be geographically separated.
Offsite means truly offsite. Got it.
Yeah.
Question 13 helps distinguish between types of emergency planning.
Okay.
Emergency or crisis management planning focuses primarily on reacting to all of the following except T. A, fire, electrical, or falling water-related emergencies.
Right.
B, natural disasters, hurricane, earthquake.
Okay.
C, bomb threats. Or D, computer restart recovery.
Crisis management typically focuses on large-scale sudden events that impact the entire organization.
Okay.
So while a computer crash can be disruptive, it's usually not a company-wide crisis.
Yeah.
So the answer that doesn't fit the crisis management category is D, computer restart recovery.
So computer issues are usually handled by IT, while crisis management is for events that threaten life, property, or the entire organization's ability to function.
Exactly. It's about reserving crisis management for those truly catastrophic events.
Okay, big picture stuff. Question 14 dives into some technical terms.
All right.
Which of the following describes remote journaling?
Okay.
Your options are A, sending data to different disks, one being a shadow disk. B, sending tapes of transaction data to an offsite facility in a batch process.
Okay.
C, a batch process that captures transaction data and sends it to multiple storage facilities.
Right.
Or D, electronic forwarding of transactions to an offsite facility.
So remote journaling is about ensuring data redundancy and recovery. It's like keeping a real-time log of all your data changes and sending it to a safe location.
Got it.
The best answer is D, electronic forwarding of transactions to an off-site facility.
So if your primary systems crash, you can recover your data up to the point of failure.
Precisely. It's a powerful technique for minimizing data loss in a disaster.
Okay, remote journaling, another tool in the disaster recovery arsenal.
Yes.
Question 15 seems straightforward.
Right.
Which of the following is not considered a natural disaster?
Okay.
A, earthquake. B, sabotage.
Right.
C, flood.
Okay.
Or D, tsunami.
Natural disasters are caused by forces of nature, not human actions. Right. So the answer that doesn't belong is B, sabotage.
Sabotage is deliberate, not a natural event.
Nice.
On to question 16, all about priorities.
Okay.
What is the #1 priority of disaster response?
Right.
A, transaction processing. B, personnel safety.
Right.
C, protecting the hardware.
Okay.
D, protecting the software.
In a crisis, people come first. So the correct answer is B, personnel safety.
People are more important than data or systems now. Let's talk backup strategies.
Okay.
Question 17 asks, which of the following backup method must be made regardless of whether differential or incremental methods are used?
Right.
A, tape backup method.
Uh-huh.
B, full backup method.
Right.
C, incremental backup method.
Okay.
D, supplemental backup method.
This is about the foundation of a good backup strategy. So
Okay.
the answer is B, full backup method.
So a full backup is like the starting point no matter what other methods you use.
Exactly. It captures all your data at a specific time, and then incremental or differential backups build on that baseline by only capturing changes.
Okay, full backups are essential.
Yes.
We're nearing the finish line, but there's still much to uncover. We'll be back with the final part of our deep dive, exploring the last questions and wrapping up with some key takeaways.
That's good.
All right, welcome back, deep divers. We are in the final stretch of our cybersecurity disaster planning marathon, tackling the last few questions from our ABCP exam prep guide, ready to finish strong.
Absolutely. Let's dive into these last few questions.
Okay, question 18. Comprehensive disaster recovery services, including hot sites, off-site backup, and periodic recovery plan testing are intended to A, bolster and sustain the continued success of the IT services industry.
Okay.
B, ensure information security professionals have adequate scope of responsibilities.
Right.
C, ensure the continued availability of critical information systems.
Okay.
Or D, minimize the need to call local firefighters in the event of a fire.
At its core, disaster recovery planning is all about keeping the business running even when faced with the unexpected.
Right.
So the answer that best reflects this is C, ensure the continued availability of critical information systems.
So it's about minimizing downtime and making sure those vital systems stay up no matter what.
Exactly. It's about business resilience in the face of disruption.
Got it. Question 19 asks, which type of backup subscription service will allow a business to recover most quickly?
Okay.
A, hot site. B, mobile or rolling backup service.
Right.
C, cold site.
Okay.
D, warm site.
If speed is the top priority, then the answer is A, hot site.
Okay.
As we discussed earlier, a hot site is a fully operational replica of your primary data center ready to take over immediately.
So hot sites are like the express lane of disaster recovery.
Yeah.
Expensive, but you get back up and running in a flash.
Exactly.
Okay, question 20 dives into the importance of testing.
Right.
Which of the following statements is the most accurate about the result of the disaster recovery plan test?
Okay.
A, if no deficiencies were found during the test, then the plan is probably perfect. B, the results of the test should be kept secret.
Okay.
C, if no deficiencies were found during the test, then the test was probably flawed.
All right.
Or D, the plan should not be changed no matter what the result of the test.
Testing is all about continuous improvement. The answer that best embodies this idea is C. If no deficiencies were found during the test, then the test was probably flawed.
So even if everything goes smoothly, there's always room for refinement and learning.
Absolutely. There are always opportunities to improve communication, streamline processes, and adapt to new challenges.
Makes sense. On to question 21.
Okay.
Which of the following is not
Yeah.
one of the primary reasons data is backed up?
Right.
A, continuous availability. B, disaster recovery.
Okay.
C, legal requirements.
Got it.
Or D, hardware failure protection.
This one highlights a subtle distinction.
Okay.
While backups can contribute to availability, their primary purpose is recovery after a disruption has occurred.
Right.
So the answer that doesn't quite fit is A, continuous availability.
So backups are about bouncing back from setbacks, not preventing them in the first place.
Exactly. They're your safety net when things go wrong.
Okay, question 22 takes us back to the big picture.
Right.
Which of the following best describes a concept and purpose of BCP planning? A, BCP plans are used to reduce outage times. B, BCP plans and procedures are put in place for the response to an emergency.
Right.
C, BCP plans guarantees the reliability of standby systems.
Right.
Or D, BCP plans are created to prevent interruptions to normal business activity.
Business continuity planning is all about minimizing disruption no matter the cause.
Right.
So the best answer here is D. BCP plans are created to prevent interruptions to normal business activity.
So it's about being proactive and anticipating those potential roadblocks.
Precisely, it's about ensuring business resilience in the face of any challenge.
All right, question 23 asks, which of the following is not a feature of a hot site?
Okay.
A, hot sites contain pre-existing internet and communications connectivity. B, equipment and software must be compatible with the data being backed up.
Right.
C, hot sites can be ready to use in a few hours to at most several days.
Okay.
Or D, a company may have exclusive rights to the facility at which the hot site is located.
The key feature of a hot site is immediate availability. So the answer that doesn't align with this is C. Hot sites can be ready to use in a few hours to at most several days.
Okay.
That time frame might be acceptable for a warm site, but a hot site needs to be up and running almost instantly.
Okay, speed is the name of the game for hot sites.
Yes.
We're almost there. Question 24. What is the normally recommended frequency that disaster recovery tests should be performed?
Right.
A, daily, B, weekly,
Okay.
C,
Yeah.
yearly, or
Yeah.
D, bi-monthly.
As we touched on earlier, the generally accepted practice is C, yearly.
Annual checkups to make sure everything's in working order.
Exactly.
Okay, last question. Question 25. Which type of recovery test involves the distribution of copies of plans to each department head for review? A, checklist. B, simulation.
Okay.
C, structured walkthrough.
Right.
Or D, departmental interruption.
This describes a basic but important type of test known as a checklist.
So it's about making sure everyone has a copy of the plan and has actually looked at it.
Exactly. It's a simple way to check for basic understanding and catch any obvious oversights.
Well, folks, we did it. We've explored all 25 questions from our ABCP exam prep guide. Hopefully you've gleaned some valuable insights into the world of cybersecurity disaster planning.
Yeah. We've covered a lot of ground from identifying critical assets and risks to developing and testing comprehensive recovery plans. We've discussed the spectrum of recovery sites from hot to cold. The key takeaway is that proactive planning is essential for any organization that relies on technology to function.
Absolutely. Disasters can strike at any time, and being prepared can be the difference between a minor inconvenience and a major setback. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. We've talked about building strong defenses, but the threat landscape is constantly evolving. How can organizations balance the need for robust security with the agility to adapt to new and emerging threats? It's something to ponder as you continue your exploration of the cybersecurity world.
That's a great question to consider. Cybersecurity is a journey, not a destination. Keep learning, keep testing, and keep adapting.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into cybersecurity disaster preparedness. Until next time, stay curious and stay secure.